Good morning, everyone. We are Cartoon Saturday, and we just showed our game Squealers Dealers to the public for the first time at a convention in Vancouver called SHUX 19.
In this video, we're going to talk about how much money we spent, what we learned, and ultimately, was it worth it?
But if you're here just to know solely how much we spent, look no further, we'll give it to you now. We spent, in Canadian, amongst the four of us, $1771.25. So let's dig deeper.
We are Cartoon Saturday, and this is the cost of showing your board game at a board game convention.
Welcome to the Cartoon Saturday YouTube channel. We are a group of friends that are making a party board game called Squealers and Dealers.
Subscribe to our channel for a look at some behind-the-scenes board game development, board game culture, and of course, cartoon culture.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of our costs, let's talk about the actual convention where we debuted our board game Squealers and Dealers. Now there are a lot of board game conventions out there, too many to name, but we chose SHUX. Why? Because it's right in our backyard in good old brainy Vancouver. So what is SHUX?
SHUX is a 3-day board game convention that takes place yearly in the Vancouver Convention Center. It's run by the fine folks at Shut Up and Sit Down, one of the best board game sites in the world. They've also got a successful podcast and over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube.
At SHUX, like a lot of conventions, there are guest panels, experiential activities, Q&A sessions, and vendors. What makes SHUX awesome is that more than half of the space is dedicated to play. Just tables and tables of open space where you can choose from one of their over thousands of board games just to play some games with friends old and new.
And of course, they have a special little section for indies called Indie Avenue. And that's where these pigs were oinking about Squealers and Dealers.
Now that you know what SHUX is, let's take a closer look at our costs. How did we spend $1,771.25? Well, first off, we have the price of our Indie Avenue table for one day and 4 SHUX weekend passes. This came to $962.85. Next was food. For 4 people at 3 meals a day in downtown Vancouver, we spent $240.
Another daily cost was parking. Parking wasn't too bad. We got away with spending $34.50 for the weekend. We also needed some business cards made quickly, so we ordered some basic business cards from our friends over at Vanprint. Nothing too fancy, the price was right at about $44.80.
For marketing, we knew we needed 2 banners, one for the table and one for the floor. The banner printing and stands were $215.88 in total. One thing to note though is that we chose the cheaper X-frame stand as opposed to the aluminum roll banners that you normally see. Why did we choose to go with an X-frame banner instead of a roll banner? Well, first off, it's cheaper, but we just wanted something that would last longer. Roll banners are much better for portability, but we've seen too many roll banners rip apart and become useless. In our experience, they're hit or miss.
Next, of course, we needed a prototype. We could have printed the prototype at home, but we instead went with Print and Play Games, a vendor recommended by Kickstarter. It just set us back a cool $153.26. Was it worth it? Well, we needed a prototype, so I guess, but the quality left a lot to be desired. If you have any recommendations for prototype printers, let us know in the comments. And lastly, the costumes. We got all 4 for about $120 on Amazon. Why did we wear the costumes? We knew that we needed a way to get attention. There's so much to see and do at SHUX. How could we stand apart? Baked Potato did a great job of this, transforming their entire booth into a blockbuster store. We couldn't do something of that magnitude, but we still wanted people to remember us and take photos of the booth. For that, we needed some out-of-the-box ideas. We thought about helium balloons shaped like pigs, having a plush roast pig on the table, and in the end, we ended up going with wearing pig costumes. It turned out pretty well, as they did manage to catch people's attention, and another dev remarked that they suited our brand well, as they align with the fact that we're making a fun party game.
So our grand total was $1771.25. That's $442.81 Canadian each. We were lucky because we live in the area, so we were able to save on hotel and travel costs, which would easily have doubled our budget. So $1,771.25. Was it worth it? Well, here are our results. We signed over 50 people to our mailing list. We had about 25 new Instagram followers. We had people asking to buy our game on the spot. And we also had a lot of quality feedback that helped us make permanent changes to the game. Let's ask each cartoonist from Cartoon Saturday.
Yeah, it was worth it. I didn't really know what to expect with SHUX. I was kind of nervous actually. I thought if we were wearing the costumes, we'd look a bit too try-hard, but in the end, it wasn't. It worked out well. The community at SHUX, very inviting, very good community, and in the end, people just want to play board games, and you feel really welcomed there. We also learned a lot, which is and got a lot of good feedback, which is what we really needed.
Yeah, I think also it was worth it. We've never done anything like this before, so for us, this was probably the perfect way to get our feet wet. We met a lot of really cool people that gave us great feedback, like you're saying, and the big thing is those were things that we never even considered over the past few months of product development. So that was really good. And then just on like a superficial level, the good feedback that we got was a good motivator to keep us going. So 10 out of 10, I would attend again.
Yeah, I agree with those points. But for me, I think I personally would have wanted to attend on a Saturday. We attended on a Sunday, which ended a little bit earlier than the rest of the day. So I think that one was something that I probably would have liked to change. Regardless though, the feedback, the advice that we got was great, and it was priceless. You couldn't really put a price to that. So it really had us get the ball rolling. It took us a direction that we didn't even consider from all the insight of all the other attendees as well too. And it's great that it was in our own backyard. We're really big on supporting local businesses and local artists and creative people within Vancouver, so that was a great way of doing so.
Yeah, I think it was worth it as well. I think it was pretty high. It was a lot of money, but I think it was worth it because, for one, like, we needed strangers to play our game. So it was great having a bunch of strangers play our game for the first time. And we also needed to learn a lot more about the industry, like the board game industry. We needed to learn more about who else makes party games. So that was great. It was a good first step in building like Cartoon Saturday's brand, but also like helping make Squealers and Dealers the best game that it could be.
Lastly, the best part of SHUX were all the friends that we made, and the cool new party and indie games that we were able to discover. We just want to give a shout out and thanks to everyone that made our first SHUX showing such an unforgettable experience.
First up was Chicken Heist from Fortato Games. Thanks to JC and the rest of the Fortato crew for hanging out and letting us play Chicken Heist for more than our fair share. Chicken Heist is a push your luck card game for 3 to 8 players, where you play as a group of unique chickens robbing a bank vault. We had a blast playing and can't wait for it to be released. You can pre-order it now on their Kickstarter page.
Shout out to Big Potato. We're huge fans, and they had hands down the best booth at SHUX. They turned their booth into a blockbuster. It was truly an honor to have them check out and play Squealers and Dealers. We bought the Blockbuster game and Linky from their booth, and have had so many fun game nights since.
We were attracted to Keymaster Games because of their beautiful art. They make games that artists would appreciate, and we are so lucky that we dropped by the booth. Matt from Keymaster Games provided us with a wealth of information and tips for new board game developers. We can't thank you enough, Matt. You can check out their roster of titles at keymastergames.com.
Monster Cat is a record label based out of Vancouver. They throw an annual block party here that's free to attend. They were at SHUX to playtest their untitled DJ-based game that Dave and I played. The concept was fun and unique, and we're really excited to see where they take this.
Gotta give a shout out to fellow indie dev and Canadian David McDonald. David, thanks again for telling us about the secret filming area. You can check out David's game Dimes on Kickstarter. We'll have a link in the description.
Vancouver board game store Rain City Games was there. They were so helpful in giving us info on how we can get our game playtested in Vancouver. They even have playtest sessions at their store. If you're ever around in the Gastown area in Vancouver, make the trip to Rain City Games.
Duck, Buck, Moose by Input Games. So, Duck, Buck, Moose was one of the most fun hunting-based games we've ever played. You collect hunting licenses, weapons, and ammo, and go on the hunt for, well, you guessed it, buck, duck, and moose. Check out their Kickstarter for more info.
Wordos from Land Games. Like Squealers and Dealers, Wordos is a word-based card game. We had a ton of fun playing it, but it might take too long to explain here, so you can check out their how to play video on their Kickstarter page.
Last but not least, High Roller Games, also fellow Canadians. First off, thanks for the cool loot bags. Really digging our copy of Trailer Park Boys Supply and Command. We had a ton of fun playing Rumor Mill, and we can't wait till it gets released. Thank you so much for playing Squealers and Dealers.
Thanks for watching Cartoon Saturday. If you're just passing by, please consider subscribing for new videos every Saturday morning. For more Cartoon Saturday, watch this video on how to play Squealers and Dealers, or this playlist we've curated of the cartoons of the week.